Hello and welcome back to my channel. I hope you are all doing well and welcome to today's video. So igama AsandaNtini. Today we are speaking mental health and specifically mental health in men. One of the topics that we often don't talk about, and I, as somebody who's a mental health advocate and do a lot of writing and speaking on mental health, I often don't speak about the mental health of men. And yeah, basically men are just the forgotten gender in everything, including mental health. And let's dive into speaking about their mental health. Alright, before good, please don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe to this video, and you'll see more content on lifestyle, law, and fitness. Everything that has to do with me, I guess. Let's talk about stats before we get into anything else. Oh, by the way, June is Men's Health Month in South Africa, and one of the things that health entails is obviously mental health. What is mental health? Who is a healthy person mentally? We're going to speak about all of those things. And yeah, let me apologize about the background noise. Everyone is home today. And yeah, so yeah, let's look at the broad overview of men. According to the England, the Mental Health Organization UK says that 3 times as many men die of suicide than women. So, and then let's go on to South Africa. In 2019, the World Health Organization published their global health estimates and said that South African men, first of all, South Africa is the third highest suicide. It has the highest third highest reported suicide deaths in Africa. So in the whole continent of Africa, South Africa is number 3 in reported deaths from suicide. And with that, the rate of 10,000 were men, 10,861 were men, and only 2,913 were women. Why is that? Is the question, because the root cause of all of this is not dealing with the issues of mental health, that the final stage would be suicide. All right, so yeah, that's how high the issues of mental health are in South Africa. And then in America, it's 6 million men suffer from depression per year in America, but only a few report that, and approximately 19.1 adult males are suffering from anxiety disorder, and 3.2 million men have panic disorder or any other phobia. Let's go back to the question, why do men not talk about mental health? I did speak on male being the forgotten gender. This is water, by the way. The traditional gender roles and the societal traditional expectations of men, that is the root cause of issues of men and their mental health. There's this rise in this modern society of modern patriarchy where women don't want to partake in gender roles but would put on men and say Indoda must be financially able, Indoda must be strong, Indoda must be this and that and that. Those are the things that are causing mental health, mental issues in men, and most likely pushing them into suicide. And it's the same women who always speak on how we are being ill-treated by patriarchy and issues of societal, traditional societal expectations and gender roles that are pushing the same narrative for men. They are pushing the same issues, the same the same what's the word? the same agenda for the other gender, and nobody cares as long as it's no longer affecting them, which I think it's quite hypocritical, and I think it's quite unfair to men. Why would you put that on men when you know what it has done to a man, to a female gender? The gender roles have done to you. They have excluded you from, for many generations, have excluded us from participating in economy and every other thing that we were fighting to get, and we are now giving it to men and saying these are your roles and you have to do with them, and if it makes you sick, it makes you anxious, it makes you depressed, we don't care. But all we know is that we have expectations of you as a man, and we're not going to change that. I think it's time that we change that. I have my laptop here, by the way, that's why I keep on looking this side. Men are often expected to be breadwinners, they're expected to be strong, they're expected to be dominant, they're expected to be providers. Whereas the moment that you say, no, I'm not justifying gender roles for female or any other person, but the moment that you say, okay, but I'm unable to do this, can you meet me halfway? It's like, it's an insult to a whole gender. That's what they mean. Like, why then are you doing this and this? So patriarchy and gender roles only work when it's against a man or when it's affecting the other gender. I don't think that's right. I don't think that's fair. I really don't. So all of these gender expectations, gender roles, and gender things that are expected of being strong, dominant, and in control, and a breadwinner, closes every other door for men to reach out for help. If a man is unable to now provide because the economy is in shambles, it's hard for him to reach out because he's supposed to be a man, and the society is still headstrong saying Indoda must. In this economy, we are expecting men to be what we are not and what we are unable to be because the economy is in shambles. Everyone knows that. Everyone knows that each and every industry is suffering. But Indoda must, and that's going to make it hard for men to reach out for support. That's going to have us have more men dying of suicide. That's what's going to have us have brilliant men, brilliant artists dying from suicide, simply because they don't have anywhere or anyone to reach out to because of the doors being closed by all of these things that they must be in control, dominant, strong. Those are the things. And what happens then if they are expected to be all of these things? They tend to go on harmful coping mechanism. Many men are substance abusers. Bayaphuza amadoda kakhulu. The only way that they are able to cope and deal with not meeting these standards and societal pressures and norms of being a man is to jump to substance abuse in order for them to feel as though they are somehow in control or don't have to deal with the inability to be in control, which is something that is impossible to be when you just can't, because of the economy, because of even not just the economy, but say, for example, you are in a relationship with somebody who is in a better position than you are, and because you have this engraved in your head that you are a man and you're supposed to be earning more, making more, you start being in pain and feeling like you are failing as a man. You are failing to be a man that you want to be simply because you are unable to. And it's not fair that you have to go through this and not be able to speak. The symptoms for a man. How do you see that a man is actually depressed? If you are with a man right now and you're not sure whether they are depressed, whether they are what, there are many. There's no male depression per se, because depression is the same for each gender, but things like irritability, sudden anger, increased loss of control, risk-taking and aggression, those are things that you can see that your man is actually depressed. The moment that he feels you feel that he's suddenly just an angry man, when you know very well your partner is just somebody who's not angry. When you see him doing things that he doesn't usually do, like I've seen a face of a depressed guy looking like he is physically sick, and when you ask him what's wrong, he's like, everything is wrong and I can't speak about all of these things, because again, it has to be the man of the house. He has to be a father to his children, a husband to his wife, if he has a girlfriend, a boyfriend to his girlfriend. Yeah, you've seen the symptoms in your guy, that he's irritated, he is all of these things. What can you advise that he does? Start talking about their feelings. One thing that I always do when speaking about feelings, I speak about my own feelings. I speak about my own depression. I do speak about it, and how life is depressing and how I'm depressed. And when you're speaking about yourself, it often opens room for somebody to share their own thoughts and their own feelings about being depressed, being whatever feeling that you are speaking of, and it opens that door. So the first thing that you need to do is talk about feelings, talk about how you're feeling, and whatever that they're saying. If they're saying that I'm depressed because you are expecting so much from me as your partner, as your husband, as your brother, that time is not for you to be defensive. That time is not for you to feel as if you are being attacked. I want to assure you of this. When a person is saying that they are depressed, when a person is saying that a situation they were with you, whether it was your employee, whether it was your sister, your brother, your whoever, if they're saying that I felt depressed when I was doing this and this and that with you, or while with you, it has nothing to do with you. It has nothing to do with you. It's not a room for you to feel offended. You might be, but that's not your place. It's how they felt, it's how they are feeling, and it's how it manifested in their own lives. And it's not fair for you to insert yourself there. So one thing you should not do when a person is expressing how they feel, or when you are trying to assist somebody who you sense or feel they are depressed, is not to actually try and insert yourself, or try and justify yourself, or try and feel guilty, or make them feel guilty for feeling that way with you. All right. If you can't really speak about feelings, start keeping active. One thing that I always do, whenever I don't go to the gym, I have not been going to the gym, and I feel a bit sluggish, I feel like all over the place in my mind, simply because I've not been going to the gym. And one of the things that help in mental health and in things like depression and anxiety is going to the gym. You accomplish something that you feel totally in control of, even if it's just running 5 kilometers, 2 kilometers, skipping a rope for 500 times, 100 times. It's something that you are in control and your body is moving. That's what helps me get out of depression, getting things and finding things that I'm in control of. That's how I was dealing with it when I was really, really depressed in varsity, and when I was doing my work after varsity, doing articles where I had episodes of feeling depressed. The one thing that helped me out of it was keeping active. It still does now. Whenever I feel depressed and overwhelmed by work and everything, I go for a run, I go for a walk, I go to the gym and lift weights, I run, I skip. It helps me. I think it might help you too. And then eating well is one of the things. It does not help to, when you are feeling depressed, when you are feeling down, to take a bag of chips or a box of Nando's wings, not Nando's wings, chicken licking wings or KFC wings. It does not help to chuck all of that, because after that you will feel horrible, and then you go straight into the place of depression, and most likely going to now gain weight because you are not eating well, and then you're going to be more depressed because now you can't control your weight. So eating well is very important. And if you are a drinker, you need to drink sensibly. Don't drink to just swallow your sorrows, or to just swim in your sorrows, whatever the word is, and hide from your sorrows. Do not drink it for just that sake, but drink sensibly. So do not drink with just an attempt to hide from those feelings or from those symptoms that you are seeing with hopes of Uguchi, this is going to end them. It doesn't. And if you're only going to be dealing with your issues with that, you will end up being an abuser of substance. So wouldn't recommend. And then keep in touch with people that you like. Even if it doesn't mean you're going to tell them, I actually feel depressed, but to give your girlfriend a call, give your sister a call, give your brother a call, give your team member a call and say, hi, how are you? To be in touch makes you see that there are other people, reminds you that there are other people, reminds you that you are more important than the way that you are feeling. And then most importantly, ask for help. If you are overwhelmed by msebenzi omningi, if you are overwhelmed by not knowing where to get money to make ends meet, if you are overwhelmed by not being able to afford that next trip that you want to take with your girlfriend, that next trip you want to take with your family, that whatever it is that you want to do, and ask for help. You are not superhuman. Like, men are not superhuman, and they will never be. You are as human as the female. You are as human as a female, and this notion that men do not cry, men do not do this and that is something that we need to do away with, because reality shows us that we are just as human, and because we are dehumanizing men, we are losing them because of this. We are losing them to depression. We are losing them to substance abuse. We are losing them to suicide, simply because we make them superhuman, which they are not. And then one thing that I do is take a break. I think I take too many of them. Like, I took a break from working full-time in the legal profession this year. It's working out well, but I think I'm tired now. That's a story of another day. But taking a break, if everything feels like it's too much, if you are able to even take a break from work, you are very lucky. I'd recommend you come back, and if you want to go back and see that your purpose is that, you go back. And taking breaks like that is very necessary and very wise to do for your mental health. Taking a break. Last week I shot a video outside. 2 videos back were all shot outside because I couldn't sit here because I just felt tired. I needed a break, but I was able to shoot outside. So change your scene, change everything that is making you feel anxious, that's making you feel out of touch with your mental health, and you feel like you are now having a mental ill health. So one thing you should do is take a break. I take a break from everything. Take a break from my books. I take a break from shooting a video here. I take a break from even shooting videos, from writing on my blog. I took a break from working as an attorney. I was doing candidate attorney stuff. Took a break from that and became in-house and became somebody who does things that have nothing to do with law. And I started feeling more in touch with myself again. And if you are able to take breaks like that. And then most importantly, like do something that you are good at. If you are good at speaking, if you are good at writing, if you are good at sports, good at coaching, good at fishing, good at whatever it is that you are good at, take time and do whatever it is that you are good at and make it count. It feels very good to accomplish something that you are good at, something that you know you're not going to fail at. When doing, it feels good to do that. So do those things, pursue them, and it will make you feel better. Believe me, it will make you feel better. That's how I coped with a lot of depression. In my 3rd year, one thing that I did was start a blog, and I started writing, and it felt good because I knew I was good at writing. And to sit and write a blog, it doesn't matter who sees it and how many people see it, but the fact that I wrote it felt good. And it was good to actually even get feedback that said, you're really good. I knew I was good, and it felt good to do something that I was good at. One hard thing to do for everyone: accepting who you are, accepting that you are short in height, accepting that you are working in a low income job, accepting that whatever it is that you are that does not meet the standard of Indoda must, is one of the ways that you're going to actually start winning against this narrative and this depressive thing of feeling like you are not man enough. If you're going to start accepting, no, Mina, I'm a great man. I'm short and I don't care. I'm a great man and I need help with providing for my family. I need help with this and that. I'm not as strong. I'm not as dominant, and I'm okay with that. Accepting that is going to help you deal with all of it. So that's one thing you should do. And then finally, one other thing that you should do is reach out to people that you know, reach out to your friends and start taking care of other people. It helps you when you do something for another person. The act of service makes you feel more human. It makes you in touch with the reality of being a human, and it helps you come back to self, come back to realization that life is worth it. Life is worth more than being depressed and feeling anxious about things that are beyond our control. All right, I really did speak for a long time. Okay, that's it. Hope you guys enjoyed this video, and I hope that you guys are going to actually be okay with accepting that you are not okay and reaching out for help. I'll put a link, or I'll put links of places to look for help. I hope that you're not afraid to feel help, and if you feel that somebody is depressed, help them. Do not make it about you. And if you need a moment of self-reflection, reflect on yourself, but do not make it about you, and do not make them feel bad for feeling that way, because they already don't know what to do with themselves by the feeling of being depressed, anxious, or whatever, or even feeling suicidal. And if you're going to continue to insert yourself in issues of their mental health, you are not helping anyone. All right, that's it for today's video. I hope you like, comment, and subscribe, and I will see you on my next one. And yeah, bye.